I was reminded today through proof that sometimes when things are the hardest, they're coming to a climax, it's when you're about to have a breakthrough. And so that's what happened to me today. And I did some work, and I figured out something revelatory to me, which is that I need to bring the kingdom down to earth. I have been going through this series. In my last several videos, I talked about when people are attacking you with fire, you don't fight fire with fire. You don't become a gossiper in return, for example, or you don't become mean in return or retaliatory in that way. What you do is you water yourself with, Jesus is like living water. And you also water everyone around you, and you also splash the other person with that goodness and put their fire out. And so, we're supposed to bless our enemies, for example. So I'm realizing, and I've known this for a very long time, this is part of what led me to God, is that I know that no matter what I achieve, no matter how many summits I climb, I have done everything that I thought was important, everything that's important to the world, with traveling, getting educated, achieving this thing and that thing and the next thing, and looking a certain way, or whatever. And it never, it was actually worse every time that I hit a summit, because it emphasizes the vanity of it all. Vanity meaning that it's meaningless. It doesn't matter. It's not eternal. It eventually crumbles into dust, and most of that stuff is very self-seeking. It's just selfish goals a lot of times, and just to like look cool or make people covet you or whatever, prove your worth. You're trying to prove your worth all the time. But when you're a Christian, you don't, first of all, you don't need to prove your worth, because everybody has infinite worth, because that's how God sees us. He created us, and our intelligence level or lack thereof has nothing to do with our worth according to God. Hold on, sweetie. And so I realized today, what is the point then? It's not productivity. When I always wonder, okay, what's the point then? The point, I'm realizing, is to bring the kingdom down to earth. What Jesus wants us to do is not check off all these mundane tasks, or be able to list achievements on a resume, or put the certificates up on the wall, but it's bringing the kingdom down in how we treat people. Bringing heaven to earth is what I mean. We're bringing heaven to earth in practical ways. Feeding the hungry, giving clean water to those who don't have clean water, giving a home and love to orphans, visiting prisoners who are wrongly imprisoned and need encouragement. Like, things like this. We need to bring heaven down to earth. And because what's going on is this longing for productivity is a longing for more meaning. There's this strange void when you know that God is real, you know that heaven is real, but we're down here on earth for what reason? Heaven is way better, so what's the point of being down here? But we're put down here for a reason. And in the Bible, Jesus said there will always be the poor. You'll always have the poor. And that's, when the spikenard bottle was broken for him and poured on him, and one of the disciples said, "Why did you waste that expensive oil on Jesus? That could have been sold, and the money could have been given to the poor." And Jesus said, "You're always going to have the poor." Okay, so that reveals something, that's part of Jesus's plan. There's always suffering on earth. There will always be the poor, because some people are born disabled, and it's no fault of theirs or their parents. It's not because they sinned, but I believe that it's because it gives humanity an opportunity to bring heaven down. It gives us, if we were already in heaven, there's no opportunity for us to show our altruism or our mercy or faith or forgiveness, etc. There's no opportunity for us to be Christ-like. And so, in my view, this is all a test, and why we're on earth. It's a test of our being, and also it's a way to forge us into, you're part of the process of creation, and we have a chance to be charitable or be selfish. And when you're selfish and self-seeking and you're seeking your own ambitions, that is a fruit of the flesh. That's and that doesn't lead to happiness. The wages of sin is death. But when you're trying to bring the kingdom down by treating other people with goodness and godliness, faithfulness, all the fruits of the Spirit, then you are doing what you're supposed to be doing here, and you're proving what you're made of, what's your substance, what kind of person are you. And sometimes we become that person over time through our own suffering. We become compassionate for other people, and those things aren't self-seeking. There are no laws against the fruits of the Spirit. So, and that's part of the Lord's Prayer, your kingdom come, your will be done. So I think we want to give, try to embody Jesus and try to bring the heavenly down. And here's the big revelation that I had. I always wondered, who's going to heaven? Am I going to heaven? I know a lot of people think that that's heretical if you're not super sure that you're saved. But there are plenty of examples in the Bible where people think that they're saved and then they're not. So I think it's wise to be open to that question, that maybe you're not. And so I think I'm starting to realize that when you bring heaven down, you're bringing the kingdom down to earth, then you are in the kingdom. You've already done it while you're on earth. And then when you die, he's not going to look at you and say, I never knew you. You never fed me. You never clothed me. You never took care of me when I was an orphan. He's going to say, you did all these things to me. Because if you do those things to the least of to the least people on earth, to the people who need it the most, then you're doing it to God. So that's how he knows you. He knows you because he remembers the things when you bring the kingdom down on earth, because you've been to the kingdom before. See what I'm saying? You're bringing the kingdom down, and so you're within that. You're bringing it to earth where you are. So I think that I'm going to reorient myself instead of doing checklists and trying to feel productive and trying to get that dopamine and serotonin so that I can feel contentment. It's more stop doing that because that's worldly, and start thinking about how you're going to be bringing the kingdom down and live within it and dwell within it, and then you don't feel the need to worry about all that worldly stuff anymore. So